everyone. Welcome to the Zone to Speak podcast. I'm your host, Juliana. Before the episode, I have got to share one of my absolute favorite ride essentials, the Cyc Plus Smart Pump. This little thing goes everywhere with me. It's compact, powerful, and honestly a game changer on the bike. I love using it mid-ride when switching between terrains. I can drop the pressure for gravel and then pump it back up when I hit the road. Super easy, super fast. And of course, it's a total lifesaver in case of a flat or any loss of air. No stress, no hand pumping. Just press the button and go. You can grab yours with 10% off using my code ZONE2SPEAK. Link and details are in the episode notes. Trust me, once you try it, you won't leave for a ride without it. Cyc Plus Smart Pump. Smart, simple, and ready for any adventure. Now, let's hear it for the episode. All right. Today on Zone to Speak, I am talking about one of the biggest transformations happening in cycling right now. Road racers becoming gravel racers and discovering it's an entirely different world. My guest today is Geerike Schreurs, better known as G, rider for the Specialized Off-Road Team, one of the strongest names in women's gravel racing, and someone who has quietly built one of the most impressive second chapters in cycling after life in the pro road peloton. Because transitioning from road to gravel sounds simple until you actually do it. Suddenly, there's no team car, no perfectly controlled peloton, no predictable racing. Instead, there is dust, chaos, mechanicals, weather, and races so long they become psychological more than physical. And nowhere was that more obvious than this year's Unbound. What happened at Unbound 2026 will probably go down as one of the most brutal editions in the race's history. Heat, mud, lots of mud, carnage, exhaustion, survival mode from start to finish. And somehow G still sprinted her way to second place in the biggest gravel race in the world. Or is it actually the biggest race in the world? We'll get into that. Let's get into it. G, welcome to Zone to Speak.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. I'm so happy you're here. So good to meet you. You came from traditional road world, structured teams, tactics, radios, very controlled racing. How difficult or easy was to transition into gravel?
Well, actually, I was only on the road for a couple of years back in 2010, 11, 12, and 13. So it's a long, long time ago that I did road racing. And back in the days, it was actually very different than it is now. So when I was racing road, I still worked full time, even that I was in a UCI team. Yeah, we were racing with radios and there was team support, of course. But I only did it, like I said, for a couple of years till 2014. When I first introduced to cycling, that was in 2010. So, but then I became a soigneur. So I was actually working for the cyclist in the World Tour teams. First 2 years I was with a smaller team. And then in 2019, I joined the Trek Segafredo, which is now Lido Trek women's team. So from the start, I was part of that team. And I've seen actually the whole transitions from being how the women's sport grows, or especially in the cycling, how it became much bigger, also more equality towards the men, and the races being more professional, more professional resources and all of that. And then so I did that for over 8 years. And then in 2023, at the end of 2023, I decided to quit my job. And that's how I started to become basically a gravel cyclist, where I thought like, okay, you know what? I did a few races in 23. That was fun. And then I thought, well, I'm going to see what I can do in 2024 when I got the support from Specialized through Anna van der Breggen. And since then, so basically 2024 was my first year full-time as a cyclist. I never been a full-time cyclist before. So that was my first time ever where I just raced gravel basically. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's only my third year now. So I'm not kind of I never done the actually world tour like it's now, how the whole setup is now, but I've been kind of part of it in a different way. But I was more on the staff side and not so much as a cyclist myself. So, but I still had to figure everything myself out when I started in 2024. Like, I did actually all the races by myself. I had no mechanic, I had no soigneur. So, yeah, I cleaned my bike myself. I changed the chain. I made sure the tires were the right pressure for the race itself. I prepared my bidons. I tried to find a way that, we got enough nutrition in during the race because you don't have anyone to handle you a bottle. I mean, I sometimes ask a friend if that one was available to come with me, for example, but it was definitely very different than it's now as well. But yeah, I figure it all out myself, and that's how I started. And now this year, it's well, like you said, I'm part of, well, I would say the best and biggest gravel team at the moment, which is specialized, and the whole setup is more towards like how the road is set up. So suddenly I don't have to look after my bike. There are mechanics, there's soigneurs, I get massage. There's been cooked for me. I still make my own bidons, but that's fine. And then, so yeah, if I can see like in this short of time, like in only 2 years, how it has changed, it's a big change in the gravel cycling for sure. And you see more road riders coming up now, and I think they kind of struggle with it. And it makes me sometimes kind of laugh because I think, well, some of them they think it's going to be easy or gravel isn't that difficult, but I think it's actually in some ways much harder than road cycling. And you can
Yeah.
see that with some of the riders who are actually nowhere there. And I think like, well, yeah, it's still you need to take it very serious, and you need to do a lot yourself as well.
Yeah, no, completely agree. And it seems like you had a smooth transition and in getting into gravel. I think a lot of road racers, when they come into gravel, there is a shift on identity. And for you, seems like it was a smooth transition. You did mention the change just in the last 2 years. It feels like women's gravel racing is becoming incredibly competitive very
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah.
How much has the level changed in the last couple
Oh,
of years?
oh, a lot. Because when I was back in 23, when I did a couple of races, I mean, I was working full time and I took it more like for fun. So I joined the events for fun and wasn't training, not structured or anything. I mean, I was more running than I was riding my bike at times, and never did intervals or these kind of things. And then I still won a couple of races while I was just having fun out there. There was also still, when we would start with the guys. So there was not a separate start, for example. Not in all of them, but in some of them. But I think I only did 5 races that year, but that went pretty well. And then when in 24, when I started to actually train over the winter with structured training, you think like, okay, well, I'm going to be super well prepared for this season, and it's gonna be, I would not say easy, but it's gonna be like, well, I'm ready for this. And there you could already tell like, oh wow, there's actually a handful of also really good riders who have done the same thing, and there's much more competition, which I think it's really great because it makes it's definitely better for the sport. And then I think last year, I mean, I know myself that I become better because I also haven't had that structured training for so many years where I still can improve a lot, but so did all the others. So I feel like sometimes, every race the level is higher. There's more riders coming up, and I think especially this year, from the start of it, it was directly that I thought, okay, it doesn't matter which race you go, there's always a high level. Um, and it's I think winning or podium riding is getting more rare because there's so much more competition. But it makes it also much more exciting, and I think we can also give more back to the supporters and the people out there watching the races. And I hope there's more women getting inspired as well by probably picking up the bike, or like switching maybe from road to gravel, or or maybe sometimes other way around, whatever. But I think it's a really good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the field is intense and it's really really inspirational. It's like you guys it's so fast that it's just like how fast can it get, because every time it's getting faster and faster. And you talked a little bit about being more structured and training and being ready. I believe you are based in Girona, right, which has become, I think, the almost unofficial capital of cycling, of gravel cycling. What makes Girona such a special place for riders? And can you share what does your daily life there actually look like inside, like outside the Instagram version that people see online?
Yeah, the, the Instagram version is very fake. I'm actually trying always to stay away from that because for me it's a different world. As much as I like the whole gravel and the gravel scene and everything, I'm also really like to be away from it. When I moved to Girona, that was back in 21, I think. I met this amazing group of ladies, the Wednesday morning run club, where I would go running with them every Wednesday morning, and they were all like having normal jobs, normal lives. And like this is the people I would love to hang out with, not with the ones who's sitting the whole day in a coffee shop and or but that's me. I think why it got so popular is because it's an easy community to becoming part of, because there's so many people who are traveling, who are expats, so that always finds each other. You
Yeah.
will always you're gonna go to a coffee shop and you will meet someone, or so you never feel really alone. If you want to, you can just do your own thing, of course, which makes it easy. And then the riding is just really amazing. Yeah, I started gravel riding when I started to live there, like just easy social rides, and I just really enjoyed it, like being away from the roads and just being in the nature. And then it was Klasmark who put out like all these amazing events. I did actually some gravel events, and then I did the Trekka, like the 100K. That was for me already a massive thing. That I thought, oh wow, I did 100 kilometers on a gravel bike, and then I did the 200. Yeah, and I think they are really good in creating this community as well, and everyone who lives there, and it makes it very easy. At the moment, I'm actually not in Girona anymore. I moved away from it. At the moment, I'm actually nowhere really based. I'm in Canada now, where my partner is, my fiance is from. So we kind of figuring out in the upcoming weeks and months, like where we gonna be based. And so yeah, I really miss Girona because I think it's a great place to be for like social interactions and training for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to ask if you're already back at Girona because I know you were just at Unbound. But yeah, Girona, I live there and I'm actually going back to live there, mainly because of the cycling, but also because of the community. You're so right. It's just so easy to immediately have a little family because so many people are not from there. So they don't have their family. So you have easily more people to hang out and to go for a coffee or a bike ride, and obviously endless trails, like I don't think you can
Oh
ever
yeah.
know everything.
No, exactly. There's so much nature there as well around and
Yeah.
so easily access to. I love the trail running there, for example. I love to go for a hike and it never get boring. It's always you can always find a new trail or yeah, you close at the beach or these kind of things. So that makes it, I think, yeah, there's just something special about it, and I just really like the nature there, and just the life as well. You saw always people outside in the winter months as well, sitting on a terrace having a drink, these kind of things. It just, I don't know, I feel like people live their lives, and that's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So when it comes to racing, I find you that you seem incredibly calm uh, in the middle of pure chaos. Is this just my impression, or you really know how to calm your nerves? Is gravel racing really suiting your personality? Tell me a little bit more.
I think I'm the opposite of being calm, to be honest. I am not calm. I think I learned to be more calm at the race. I do a lot of mental training as well, and I feel like that really really helps me. Although even I think there's still so much to learn, and I'm from like last race of Saturday Unbound, I'm actually still very disappointed with myself, and so I maybe look calm at the outside, I look maybe happy after the finish, but there's so much going on in my head as well. And yeah, it's good people see it that way, but it's I don't. Well, to be honest, I don't think it is. It is really. I'm not like that at all. No, you can ask my fiance.
You do look like a sensei, like very
Okay,
poised. Yes.
okay. Well, it's good. I mean, and I think it's also something. I think I'm got better in uh, when I cross the finish line, not to be too upset or just, let it be what it is and just laugh and joke around because it's also important to give that message to everyone, and especially I think to the staff as well. It would be really bad if I'm so angry or upset. I feel like they do so much for me as well, so I just want to be grateful and thankful for them as well, to them as well.
Yeah, I understand that. But I think it's also okay to show your emotions. You performed so well. I saw you taking off on that sprint, and it was incredible, incredible seeing you and Sophia, two specialized, the two reds going, going, going. And I'm sure there's some part of you that is happy with your performance, but of course, everybody wants to win. Being first is being first.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm always second in my opinion. But I mean, like I have won races, but I've always been close to like a big win, but never won it. And yeah, that's sometimes, I mean, that's all we train hard for, and I'm just disappointed in myself in that sense. And especially, I think it's also not giving back to everyone who worked so hard
Yeah.
to get me where I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's sport, and it also drives you and it makes you hungry to more. And so yeah, I learn a lot from it and I reflect on it, and then I take that with me for the next one.
And Unbound has become this mythical event. For many people, it is the gravel race. Do you think Unbound is actually the biggest gravel race in the world, or has it
Yeah.
become something even bigger than a race at this point?
Well, for me, it is. For me, definitely, it's the biggest gravel race in the world. There's so much to it. I mean, it is. If you win Unbound, your career is basically made. If you got second, nothing has changed. So I've been 2 times second now. So yes, I am. I mean, like I've shown that I'm consistent, that I'm belong there, that I'm a good rider. That's also why Specialized signed me, of course. But I feel if you win, then that is the biggest. I think the biggest gravel race you can win is Unbound, and I think it's bigger than the UCI World Champs because this is real gravel, and it's like you have to challenge so many things, what's happening during the day, and then all the best riders of the gravel scene are starting that race. So for me, it's the biggest one. It's also the best organized one. And yeah, it's just a really big event, and that feels really cool to be part of and to start that race.
Yeah. And this year, Unbound already feels historic. The heat, the suffering, the crashes. People looked completely destroyed. How brutal did it actually feel from the inside?
Yeah, it is. It is really hard, and the funny thing is with Unbound is everyone is constantly discussing the weather and making, like, oh, what are you going to do? Are you going to change this? Are you going to change tires? Are you going to change gearing? Are you going to change this? And I knew that would happen because that happens every year. And I tried to say to myself, like, well, you know what? We cannot control the weather. It's like it is what it is. You just have to deal with what is coming on your path on that day. And yeah, it is hard because yeah, you go through these mud sections. And first, when I did the recon the days before, the week before, it was like all dry. And I thought like, well, this never can, you sometimes you can see like, oh, this could turn into a mud section. Oh, but
Yeah.
it's only this long. That's not so bad. But when we first hit the mud and it kept going and going and going and going. And I'm like, when are we
Yeah.
going to hit some like normal gravel? I mean,
Yeah, that's tough.
that is tough. And then, yeah, um, you just try to stay calm and think like, well, one pedal stroke at a time, and everyone goes through the same things. And especially when I could ride, I was able to ride through the mud, so I didn't have to go off the bike or walk my bike. And there were others who could do the same thing. So I was like, well, at least I can do that, and I'm already ahead of all the others. So, but it was hard. And then we got this massive storm, and then I crashed, and I think everyone kind of crashed, and then your gears stopped working for a little bit, and then it started working again, and then we had this massive wind, and then suddenly the heat started, and it was really hot. And at one
Yeah.
point, when it was still raining and muddy, I couldn't see anything anymore, and I took my glasses off, but I have contacts, and then all the mud and came in my eyes, and I was like, I honestly cannot see anything. This is like, I need to put my glasses back on again. So. Um, but I mean, I think if you sign up for gravel races, you need to enjoy kind of as well to deal with these challenges, because gravel is it is a big challenge for yourself mentally, for you physically.
Yes.
And I think we sign up because we kind of like to deal with these things as well. So yeah, it was really hard, of course, but that was for everyone.
I completely agree that gravel it's a different game, and whoever is racing gravel or just riding gravel is drawn to this little bit of a chaos because as smooth as it can go, there's always emotions, high emotions, big rocks, or it's a mud, or it's a flat. There's always something you need to be prepared for. You mentioned a little bit earlier that you do mental training. What is this mental training? And that also helps you manage those situations?
Yeah, so it is basically you can already visualize yourself coming into a situation where it's going to be tough, or where
Visualization.
you're going to need to, where it's going to be a challenge or whatever. And then it's
Okay.
kind of how the performance coach explains it is, of the mental coach explains this, is like you basically make a toolkit what you can use when you come in this kind of difficult situations, what you can do to make yourself go through it and stay like in the present and stay like um, positive and these kind of things. So I think knowing that we go through this, it's not the end of the world. And I think maybe 2 years ago I would give up earlier than that I do now. Just because you learn you say yourself like, I don't know, like positive things, or I do a lot of counting in my head, for example, when I'm climbing, or when there's a hard part in the race where you need to be focused, but you need to push as well. And of course your legs are screaming, or your legs want to maybe give up, or your head, well, mostly your head wants to give up first, I would say. But it's just like things you practice in training as well, to go through difficult and hard situations, to manage these best as possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So a lot of visualization. That makes sense. Going back to the race, I want to talk a little bit about that sprinting. Um, After racing over 300 kilometers, what was going through your mind on those final moments that that sprint came out of you?
Yeah, well, I can keep I keep playing it back in my head, and I keep playing back the last, I would say, 90 Ks of the race in my head, where I think like there's so many, but that's always easier said afterwards, because you can, you're showered, you had some sleep, you can think better. Where I said like I should have done many things differently, but I'm mostly disappointed. I'm just disappointed in myself that I didn't try harder to, for example, get away, or to try to make it solo. And I think I just kind of um, gave up on the idea that I could actually win, or that I kind of belonged there as well to win. When it came down to a sprint, we said in the meeting already beforehand that we would go for Sofia. I think I got myself boxed in a little bit. I should have stayed more on the left side, and I was too far on the right
Yeah,
side.
I saw
And
that.
when I
Yeah.
saw when I saw Sophia going, I knew the others would go react, so that would give me space to open up the sprint myself. And I mean, I had still a good push, and yeah, we definitely secured 1 and 2 very clear. Like there was actually no threat by anyone else in the sprint, which is really really cool, of course. Yeah, I think especially because after 10.5 hours of racing, your brain is also just getting really tired. And I think that is something I can learn from, like to be still alert after so many hours. But
Yeah.
that's always hard to tell. Like you just don't know. There's already so many things you dealt with, and then at one point you just do things kind of on an automatic feeling. Yeah, and then you analyze it after the race, and you're like, oh, I should have done this, should have done that. But at the moment, you just do. Okay, basically, what is your first intuition tells you. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so easy to go back when you're fresh and you have reflected on everything. So hopefully you just take this more as lessons and not beat yourself up about it. Because
No, and I mean,
like you
like you
said,
also
yeah, the moment it's not easy to have those reflections as,
no, exactly. And also, I need to think like who I all left behind me because there are many, many good riders, and some of them they didn't even make it to the front group,
yes.
for
Yeah.
example. And I'm like, well, I was there. I was under all the important key moments. I was there where I had to be, and yeah, I'm to be honest pretty consistent in the last Unbounds I did, and yeah, it's a race what suits me, and I know that, but I can also take that with me for next year to might try it another time to
Yeah.
get that
Yeah. I
victory.
guess for the win, there's always something that it can be improved and it's good to reflect on it, but you did an amazing job. I'm so proud of you,
Thank you.
and it's always so
Thank
nice to
you.
see you in the podium. Tell me a little bit about the environment and culture in the specialized off-road team.
Yeah, I mean, we have very, very good riders, of course, and I think Specialized did a great job in signing these riders and also make it all work. They kind of want to have a same road structure in the what they do in the road. They want to have the same structure in kind of in the gravel. So we have like a lot of resources. We have great mechanics. We have soigneurs. We have chef at times. We have the performance coach who overlooks everything and helps us with like nutrition plans. Yeah, I mean that material, of course, is very very good. There's basically everything what we need. It's there, and yeah, it's they put everything. They put a lot into it, and it's like very clear that we race here for the Specialized brand and not so much for individual results. So that's always what we keep in mind when we race, and to know like, okay, we're racing here for the brand because that's why we want to win. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, we all have strong personalities. I think some of them they have a much stronger personality than others. I thought that I had a strong personality, but I think mine is a bit more calm compared with others, but that's also we all like kind of yeah, they all the riders they want to win, and we all work hard and we all do what we need to do to become the best version of ourselves in the race. And then we try to before we do always do a meeting and see like what is the best chances for Specialized to win, and then we make a basic plan on like our strengths. And yeah, that's basically how we go into the races.
Yeah. Do you ever train together with any of your teammates? I mean, I guess not because you guys are spread out in different locations, right?
Yeah, so we all spread out. We did had a training camp back in February with the team before Santaval. I think next year we might do it slightly different, or we do like an off-season camp where we do it mostly the media things and just hanging out all together. So when we are at the races, normally we are there like some days beforehand. If training, because we all have different coaches, so sometimes the training doesn't line up. If we can, we ride together. I rode a couple times with the guys because they went out, and I said like, okay, cool, I can just sit in the wheel. But I also did a lot by myself. So yeah, it is quite flexible, and it's more like, yeah, you plan around your own schedule, and if it lines up with the others, then we all go together. Yeah.
Makes sense. Um, One question on the gravel identity. Some people want gravel to stay adventure focused, others want it to become fully pro. What do you think gravel can keep its soul as it grows, or the change is inevitable?
I think it's already changing, but changing a lot. Like I get what people say, but on the other hand, when there's money involved, and I think bike brands, they see how big gravel becomes, and I think it's one of their biggest sale at the moment is gravel bikes. So they also see like, okay, this is something we should put money into to get the exposure. And I think so once that money is involved, that is becomes more professional. And yeah, to be honest, I think it's a really, really good thing. What it makes it hard is that the sport grows so fast that not all the organizers are capable of growing with that. So sometimes things are, yeah, so sometimes, like it's maybe safety, or it is not rules or regulations or these kind of things, while the pros or the riders are already two steps ahead and the
Yeah,
organizers not, which makes sometimes a bit of an argument, or yeah, which kind of, and I think that's it is a thing we should talk about it. And I think if you do UCI races, the UCI should make more clear rules to that as well. But I think also as athletes, we need to accept that organizers, we cannot expect from them to be growing that fast as we do. And it is what it is, and just try to accept that, and just enjoy yeah, that people putting events out there, and that we can do what we do, and can race our bikes, of course.
yeah,
Um, I think what it might lead to is more, if the sport keeps growing like this, is maybe have the pros starting on one day and then the amateurs starting on another day to keep it separately. But I also know that from organizers that is suddenly 2 days of organization, and it's cost way more money. So it might not happen for a long time. Um, but yeah, I think it will go to a very professional sport. And I mean, it's already started like that, so it will
yeah.
only grow. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I come from triathlon and I loved racing with the pros. When you get qualified for a world championship, or even some of the races, you have some pros there. But it has to have a tight organization where everyone is aware of the rules and everyone knows what they should and should not do. It's a very good point. And also, everyone should have a good experience, right? The pros are there for their career and to make money, and the brands as well, but also the amateurs are there to have fun, and they are paying the
exactly.
bill. So
Yeah.
they should have a good time. So, yeah, we need to find some balance there.
Yeah,
But
and I mean, yeah, exactly. And I think like we have, it is our job. So when we go to a race, it's my job to perform best as possible and take hopefully the victory for the brand, or for the sponsors who are paying me. So it is basically going to my work, while the amateurs are just enjoying the event. And I think that is sometimes why there's sometimes a bit of an argument between maybe amateurs and pros, or organizations and pros. But that's all because we have a different vision, or we have a different our how we call that, like yeah, for us it's very important to do well at a race, because there's so much to it. And
yeah,
I think sometimes that is not really understood by maybe sometimes organizers or
yeah,
amateurs itself. Yeah.
yeah.
Although we also pay for our inscription, for our fees, entry fees. Not that,
Oh, all right.
so Yes. So it's not that that we get it all for free, to be honest.
Okay, that's new. Well, not new information. I know some races you do, but I wasn't sure if it was always so.
There's always some organizers, they maybe offer you like, hey,
Yeah, they invite you.
I would like you to come, and they invite. But yeah, there's I think that's maybe 2 races out of 10, for example. So yeah, um, we have sponsors behind it, but you still, I mean, privateers, they still pay for their entry as
Right,
well. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah. I just have some fire chat round now before we wrap up.
yeah.
A best gravel race you have ever experienced.
Yeah, for me, it's Unbound.
Dream race location anywhere in the world.
I would love to race in South America.
Nice. My
Yeah,
hometown,
yeah.
maybe. What hurts more after a race? Hands, back, or legs?
Back.
One rider you never want to see attacking.
Well, it's Rosa, because then you know you need to go
Yeah,
with her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Biggest gravel rookie mistake.
Um, Not having a chain catcher on your bike.
Yeah. Coffee ride or full gas suffering?
Oh, full gas suffering. I cannot do coffee ride. I don't understand. I don't understand how people can ride and then stop for coffee. I can do before, after, but not during.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's two different mindsets. So I figure you would say full gas. I'm on the
Yeah.
coffee ride train.
Good.
One thing you always do before races.
Um, what I do always before races. Checking in with myself, like how I actually feel.
That's a good one. That's a good
Yeah.
one. G, thank you so much for coming to Zone to Speak. I have to say again, watching you sprint to second after that brutal day was seriously impressive. Thank you so much for coming to Zone to Speak. Hopefully, the first of many.
Yes, thank you so much.
And that's all for today's episode. I want to thank the listeners for tuning in. Your support means everything. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider following, leaving a review, and sharing it with your friends.